Welcome, everybody. This is part 2 of the consultation process. If you missed last week's presentation on the consultation, I recommend that you watch it. We've recorded it and you should have access to it. If you don't, just let me know and we'll make sure that you get the link for that. I want to just quickly welcome you all and also thank Gay for sharing with us her wealth of knowledge, and I find these sessions that we have together really interesting. I think that I'm just letting people in while I speak, so excuse me if I'm a little bit distracted. Yeah, I find these sessions with Gay regarding the consultation fascinating, and especially for your business, because these really make a difference in what you gain with your clients' trust in you, but also on a purely financial aspect, how much more money you can make and the loyalty that ensues from that. So without any further ado, please make Gay welcome. Thank you so much, Gay. Over to you. Take it away.
It's absolutely a pleasure to be back here with you guys, Frank. I absolutely love working with Vitality Plus. I love the team there, so I feel really privileged that I get to actually do this. So today we're actually going to be talking about some challenges that you come up with when you're actually doing your consultation. So we're going to go through those challenges, and I'm going to give you some scripts. Now, these are just scripts that, obviously you've got to play around with them and make them your own, but they're just scripts that we can actually, if you haven't thought about situations that you get into, that might help you out a little bit. So the consultation, I just need to move this bar down here a little bit. There we go. The consultation isn't successful because you give information. I think we made that quite clear last week. Like, just giving that information does not make a great consultation. It's actually successful when their client feels safe and they actually move forward with you, when they actually start booking in and having treatments with you. So, it actually is something that we really do need to work really hard on and understand what an objection is. It's not a rejection. So when people object, or they don't book with us, or they don't buy with us, we can't think of it as that being rejection. What they're really looking for is clarity, and they're looking for certainty, and they're looking for someone that they can believe or someone that they can trust. And a lot of the times these clients that are coming into us, they have been to so many clinics that they're looking for that clinic that they walk into where they can just go, oh, these people know what they're doing. And that is building up that, making sure that that consultation creates that space for them. So I just want to go why clients don't, if I can just get this to move for me, why clients don't buy from us. It's not because of pricing. It's not because we're too expensive. That's not a reason why they don't buy. Often when we put our prices up, or we show them something that is really expensive in our business, they actually will buy that. So people will, buy something that they believe that is going to make a change their world, that's going to make a change their skin. It's not timing. Like, people will use that as an excuse that they don't have time to come in and have treatments, or they're in a rush. That's just not the reason why they don't buy either. And they need to think about it. That's another reason. I'm going to go through these one by one with you and give you ideas on how we can actually break this down. When they think they give you that answer, they need to think about it. We've got to think about what we have done, what we have delivered, because often when we get that answer back, we've missed something, and they're just looking for an out. They don't feel comfortable with you. They don't feel that they can trust you. And that's the reason why they actually are opting out to having the treatments. The reason they buy or they don't buy is lack of trust, that they don't believe you yet. Lack of understanding, that they don't fully understand their skin, or they're overwhelmed. Like, I've listened to girls and even my students, when they give so much information, and I'm sitting there thinking, yeah, you know what you're talking about, but my gosh, I've lost. I don't know what you're talking about. And I think people can get very overwhelmed with the information that we give them, but there's no clear direction. We'll tell them how something might work with acne, or tell them how something might work with aging, but we haven't given them a real clear direction on how it's going to work. And then fear. They get scared, especially with what we're coming up against at the moment, where people are really watching their pennies. They get really scared of wasting money. So they just find a reason why not to buy for you. They'll give you, I'll think about it, or, I'll get it next time. They're the answers that they'll give you. Or we haven't created an urgency. So they don't see the consequences of them not doing anything. They think, I've had this skin now lived in it for the last 15 years. I can live in it for another 5. So we actually haven't created that urgency for them to actually have treatments with you or to buy your skincare. Or there's no emotional connection. So you spoke clinically, but not personally. So when we talk to, that's what's coming back to, how do we educate our clients? So when we talk to them, obviously we want to share information that we know our knowledge, we know our stuff, but we also got to be very, very personable. So people don't buy treatments, they buy certainty. And I think that's one thing that we've got to really be mindful of. Skin conditions are chronic, they're progressive, and they're biological. So that's where, when we come back to that, not really explaining the urgency of it, clients won't understand that unless we clearly explain it. So we've got to come down and be very personal when we're doing our consultations and talk to them on a level that they fully understand. So what I want to do is go through with you step by step objection framework. I want to go through this. I want to go through acknowledge it, like never dismiss, clarify, educate, reassure with structure, and redirect to an outcome. So let's go through each one of these phases one by one. So when someone says to you, it's too expensive, what they're really saying is, I don't see the value. So if they say it's too expensive, they're really saying, I'm so sorry, I've been sick this week. They really say, I don't see the value in what you're telling me. So you need to think about, what have I done? Because I haven't explained it very clearly to them. So what have I done for them to actually say that they don't see value or it's too expensive? So I've created some scripts for each of these. So a script could be, I completely understand it is an investment. What's important is making sure that investment actually gives you a result. Or if we don't treat this correctly now, it often becomes more complex and more costly to manage later. So you need to bring it back to value. So my goal isn't to get you to spend more, is to get you to get your skin to a place where you don't need to keep chasing treatments. So that's just an excuse. It's too expensive. It's just an excuse that they're giving you. So these are scripts that might help you get out of that when they give you that phrase. The next one is that I need to think about it. How many times do we hear that? We've done a consultation, we've given them all the answers, and then they say, I need to think about it. Really, they're probably very overwhelmed with what you've given them. They're probably very overwhelmed with how much information you've given them. So here's a couple of scripts for that. Of course, you absolutely should feel comfortable. Just so I can support you properly, what part would you like a bit more clarity on? So just making sure that you really give them clarity on that. If they respond vaguely, here's a script. Sometimes when clients say they need to think about it, it's usually because something doesn't feel fully clear yet. Is it the results, the process, or the investment? So what part of that do they need to think about? And then guide them back. What are you? You're a therapist. So your role is to make sure you feel confident in your decision, not pressured. So, and ask them, what specifically is really worrying them? What are they really concerned about? What are they really worried about? The next thing is, I've tried everything. I know this is something that I've heard a lot over the years. I've tried everything before. They're probably really scared that they're going to be disappointed again by spending money with you and buying your products because I've tried everything. So, it's usually because treatments have focused on the surface, not what's happening within the skin. We talked a little bit about that last week, where we actually look at what we can see on the skin and we go into treatment mode, but we don't truly understand what's going on underneath. So position your difference a little bit here. So what are you doing here is working with your skin's biology, your barrier, inflammation, pigmentation pathways, not just treating symptoms. So let them be very aware that you're just not treating what they can visually see. You're actually going to really understand the cause and treat that cause. That's why you can help them. And I always go back, I know I can help you. Be very confident with how you actually respond to, I've tried everything before. I know you have, but I know I can help you. There's pathways we have to follow. So we can't promise perfection, but we can create change if we approach it correctly. So it's the language that you use and how you actually go through that process with them. Sorry, there's a little bit of noise in the background here. I'll just, people are reaching over the top of me here. So sorry about that. Another one is I don't have time. That's very common. Most of our clients are busy. That's actually why having a structured plan is important. So your skin improves despite your schedule. So, be gentle with this. When skin conditions like this are left unmanaged, they tend to progress, which can require more time later. So they might not have the time now to fix it. But if you don't get them on board, if you don't get them as a client, if they don't take your skincare to use at home, then it's going to progressively get worse. So when they look in the mirror one day and they go, I should have done something about that, it's going to take a lot more time to actually get that back. So let's create something realistic for you. What would be manageable for you? What do you feel? How many times can you actually come to see me? So it's actually offering an alternative. And sometimes we don't think on our feet like this when we're doing a consultation. If they say that I don't have time, I know in the past where I've been in clinics with therapists and we've done, role models and things like that, and this question comes out, they get lost. They don't know where to go with it. And they backpedal and go, oh, okay, that's okay. You can't do that. You've got to actually find a way that you can get them booked into the clinic. This is a good one. I've tried everything before. Everything that you're telling me, I've tried before. When I hear that, it's usually because treatments have focused on the surface. It's coming back to really not understanding, not doing that consultation, not really understanding what's causing the issue. What is the problem here? It's not what we see. So I think I said this last week as well. When we see someone come into our clinics, it's really quite easy to actually have a look at the surface of the skin and go into treatment mode. That's easy because you've got all these protocols that you could follow. But are you really going to make a difference to the skin? Not really. So what we have to do is find out why is that there and then fix that. Is it because they're not using a tyrosinase inhibitor? That's why we're trying to fix the pigmentation, but it's not going because they're not using a tyrosinase inhibitor. Is it because they're not using the correct cleanser? So we're not actually priming that skin correctly. So there's a lot of reasons why it hasn't worked in the past. So, position yourself different. So what are you doing here is working with your skin's biology, your barrier, inflammation, pigment pathways, not just treating symptoms. Make sure they really understand that you can help them by treating the symptoms, not just what you're visually seeing. Again, we can't promise perfection, but we can create change if we approach it correctly. These are things that if you bring this into when you're talking to someone, they really listen to you and they go, okay, no one's really said that to me before. No one's really told me that they've got to look at understanding what's causing the problem. These might be simple things, but they're things that we kind of miss every single day. I'll just use what I have at home. I love this one. You know, you're doing a treatment on somebody and you give them all the information that they need, and they'll just go, oh, I'm just going to use what I've got at home. And then once I've used that up, I'll think about it. I just feel like just give them a little tap, don't you, when this actually happens to you? So that's completely fine, but what are you currently using? Because it's just not working. Like, why are we here trying to fix a problem if you're still trying to use and do the same thing that you've been doing that actually hasn't fixed it? It actually hasn't fixed it. So what I want to do is get you onto a program that is going to make a difference. And I can promise you that after using these products, after 2 weeks, you are going to fall in love with your skin. You're going to fall in love with me because I'm helping you, and you're going to fall in love with the products. So don't let them do that. You know, the only thing I want to avoid is your skin staying the same in the same cycle because it's not being supported properly. That's a good one to use. Or these products aren't about replacing what you have. We're not replacing it. They're about correcting your skin. They're about making a change, making a difference to your skin. Okay, it's not, that's what we're talking about. We're supporting the skin. And then you get this, you know, they come in and they've got acne, and then you go through the routine and you go through everything that they need, and they say, oh, it's not that bad. You know, I've had that happen as well. It's not that bad, really. I think I'll just leave it. You know, I say you're right. It's not severe, which is actually the best time to treat it. We don't want it to get bad before, you know, we actually start our program. And then educate. So most skin conditions progress gradually. So early intervention usually means simpler treatments and better outcomes. You know, empower yourself. You're in a really good position to get ahead of that. That's a script that you could actually use. This is the time that we can actually treat your skin and get on top of what is actually going on. And this is coming back to that trust thing. You know, I'm scared it won't work. You know, this is because you haven't actually been able to build up that trust with them. This is something that I might say that's a very real concern, and I'd be more worried if I didn't feel that way. So you've got to build that trust. What we can do is reduce that uncertainty by having a clear plan, realistic expectations, and tracking your progress. That's what we do here in the clinic. We make sure that you're on track. We make sure that you actually keep moving forward and keep progressing. And then grounded. Skin responds to consistency and correct treatment, not guesswork. That's powerful when you actually use that sentence. You know, everywhere else that you've been, it hasn't worked because then maybe they've been guessing on how to treat your skin. We don't do that here. We're actually going to be consistent. We're going to get you onto a program. We're going to get you onto a good support care that you're going to be using at home, and we are going to make a difference. Be positive in everything that you do and everything that you say. And this is another one. Can I just do one treatment first? You know, I often say that, you know, before they even buy their skincare. Can I just have the treatment? You know, I just want to see how the treatment works. Let's be honest with ourselves. We can do a treatment and it's going to look good, but is it going to give them the answers? It's definitely not going to give them the answers. We can absolutely start here, but I want to be transparent. One treatment will give you a glimpse, but a real change happens with consistency. Do you want a glimpse, or do you want something that's going to be real, that's going to last? What I prefer is that we plan properly so you're not disappointed by doing too little and you're not wasting your money. But let's face it, if they have a treatment with you and they don't support that with home care, they're just wasting their money. And you're wasting your time because you're not going to get it. Whose reputation is going to go down the hill? Yours, because you haven't made a difference to the skin, because 3 days later, they can't remember what it looked like when you did that treatment. No one needs to ask their partner. That's just an excuse. No one needs to go home and ask, whoever, can I buy some products or can I have treatments? Seriously, if someone wants to have a treatment and they want to see a change to the skin, they're going to do it. They're not going to run out the door and ring somebody or, wait till they get home and tell them I went to this clinic and they said I have to have this, this, and this. Is it okay with you if I do it? That's garbage. That's an excuse. So, of course, that's important. We make them feel good. Would it help if I outline a plan clearly so you feel confident explaining it? So making sure you don't miss any parts here. And often when clients understand the why, these conversations become much easier. Honestly, it's just a reason for them to get out. You haven't explained it clearly. You haven't been positive enough in what you can actually do with your client when they give you an answer like that. And I just get so frustrated with this. I used to have a thing up in one of my clinics that had up, if you're not going to use your home support, you're going to crash and burn. So why bother? Like I had an image up of someone that just had treatments and 3 weeks later they didn't change. And then I had an image of someone that had treatments and used home care and the difference was amazing, showing them what that support is. So script, we can do that, but I do want to be honest with you. Without supporting your skin at home, your results will be slower and less predictable or not even happen. So think of your treatment as a trigger for change and your home care as what keeps that change happening. So there's lots of ways that you can say that, but this is just this is something that you just can't let them get away with because you know that you can do so much, but your support is going to be what they do at home. And this one, I don't want to commit to a plan. That's their choice if they don't want to commit to a plan. But my role is to make sure you understand what your skin actually needs to improve. My role is to create a plan where you're more likely to maintain rather than correct. And we can always adjust as we go. You're not locked into anything. And that's something that we've got to make sure that we get our clients to understand. We can mop out our plan, but on the third treatment or the fourth treatment, we might have to change that plan slightly. So that plan isn't something that we're actually sticking to. So the soft close approach, instead of asking, do you want to book, say, based on what we've discussed, the next step would be to start with treatment and support your skin with home care. How does that feel to you? I'm just going to close. I can see some background noise. It won't be 2 seconds. I'm so sorry. Some people just don't understand when they make a noise. It echoes through everything. So sorry about that. So, yeah, based on what we've discussed, the next step would be to start with treatment and support your skin with home care. How does that feel to you? And this invites a conversation. This reveals hidden objections and keeps control without pressure. So these are some power phrases. So help me understand, like when someone gives you an objection, ask them, help me understand why you aren't feeling confident in what I can do. Help me understand why you have decided not to use the skincare. What's holding you back? My role is to guide you, not pressure you or not pressuring you, but I need to understand because you want me to help you with your skin, and I can't do that unless we work together. So let's make this work for you. This is about long-term skin health, not quick fixes. And that's something that we have to really get our clients to understand. And I want you to feel confident in your decision. So it's actually, these power phrases are things that we need to actually use when people are giving us an objection. Honestly, ladies and guys, the objection is really a reason for them to get out. You just haven't given them the answer. So some of the scripts that I've given you, you change them, make them your own. But really don't let someone give you an objection without giving them a reason why they shouldn't object. So if you just let them give you an objection and walk out the door, then it actually isn't a great business model. So I want you to think about the objection you hear most. I'm happy to help you out with that. if you want to put it in the chat or have it for the next time that we meet, I'm happy to discuss that and go through that with you, because we hear these objections all the time. Next week, we're talking about home care, and this is the most missed opportunity that we actually have in our business when we don't actually retail that. So it's all about how we can actually make sure our clients are buying from us, they're using our product, all those reasons. It's a really important part of this 3-week series. So I really hope that you tune in and listen to that. I know it's been recorded for people that want to hear it. So thank you. I'm so sorry. There's been a bit of noise. I've been coughing and.
Oh, thank you, Gay. I couldn't hear the noise you were talking about. So you were hearing it, but I don't think any one of us were hearing it.
Yes, thank
yeah,
goodness.
yeah. No, that was really interesting. Overall, I had this sense that the objection were really an opportunity to, well, clarify, but an opportunity to assert your experience and knowledge. So yeah, it's great. I love that. I love how, you know, people who say it's too expensive, what they're really saying is they don't trust you, really. And so that's
yeah,
you know, that opportunity to sort of establish more connection and
yeah, I 100% agree with you, Frank. You know, when there's an objection, that's what I was going through those scripts with you, because it is an opportunity to go, hey,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. I know that you have a consultation bundle in Skin Institute, and I don't know if this is something we'll talk about next week, but I'd be referring to this bundle because there's a really special price on it at the moment, and we'll send everyone the link to it. But did you want to say a few words about that?
there is a consultation bundle. That's in, and also I think what's even more exciting, and I'll give you a copy as soon as I've finished it with, which is the next, is a book I've put together.
Yes, I can't wait for that.
I'd rather, that book is, to me, it's a lot of the work, you know, why there's the neuroscience of why people don't buy. It goes through with, you know, a whole host of how to train people on your front desk to take a booking, and it's all growth through consultation. So I think that would be, and there'll be a special price for all of your accounts. Also, I also want to mention that Naomi has, she's in our membership program. She did a fantastic training program that's in there. So I've offered your accounts a free 3 months or 6 months or whatever it was into that program. I think I sent that link through. So if
we'll remind everyone about that and send it through.
Yeah, a great training program up in there.
Okay. Well, thank you. It's great to see everybody. Thank you for joining us. Learning is always a never-ending journey, and when you've got people like the beautiful Gay, it's just such a joy to learn. Thank you so much, Gay. Thank you, everyone, for coming.
Thank you.
And we'll see you next week.
Absolutely.
Cheers, everyone.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye, Gay. You take care. Huh? Look after yourself.
Yeah. Frank, have you got a sec?
Yes, of course. Shall I call you?
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right then. Bye.
Thanks, Sophie. Thank you. Bye.
Bye, everybody. Bye, Naomi. Bye, Cecile. Bye, Daniela.
Bye, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you.